Good afternoon and welcome to the channel. Today I want to talk about the topic of load-bearing wall removal. Generally speaking, these won't require planning unless you live in a listed building. They just require approval from building control. So you have to submit a drawing and a set of calculations for the beam that'll replace the load-bearing wall. Generally speaking, type of load-bearing wall removal we encounter most often is the spine wall that divides the front resection and rear resection in a semi-detached or terraced house. These walls support the first floor, and they also support the bedroom spine wall above and also parts of the roof. So it's important to provide a beam and adequate supports once we remove that wall. I have a typical load-bearing wall removal plan on the screen here that I'd like to show you. Here we have the front reception, this is the rear reception, this is the hallway, and this dotted line represents the wall that we were going to remove. The wall was replaced with a 200mm universal beam, steel beam, and at either ends we provided short brick piers to support the beam. In this case, the owner didn't want to go into the party wall because that would incur a party wall agreement, so they decided to opt for providing short piers at either end to support the beam. I also have now a typical section which will illustrate how the beam is inserted underneath, in the location of the spine wall, underneath the first floor here, the joists, and this also supports the bedroom wall above. The builder will prop prior to the demolition and demolish the wall and have the beam ready to insert in the space and packed up against the joists or wall as appropriate. You will see there will be like a 200mm bulkhead here that will remain in the space. I have here a slightly more complicated wall removal. This wall was supporting part of the first floor, some of the wall above, and was also there was also support needed for a demolition of the nib and the opening. This will necessitate the removal of the existing lintel over the door, so we replace that lintel with a steel beam to support the floor, and also that will then connect onto the main support that spans between the two walls. Here we've provided an additional pier to provide additional support for this beam to strengthen up the existing spine wall. These dark blue lines represent the pad stones that spread the load from the beam across the wall. I think that pretty much concludes sort of simple basic alterations within a house. There are more complicated types of arrangement where we remove the entire back section of the wall and open it out. This will mean that we need to put a steel goalpost frame very often, or steel picture frame that I can discuss in the next video. I think that concludes our talk for the time being. Thank you for listening.